it to people's attention every now and again, although it's a negative factor, then you have people who are probably less likely to then forget their season ticket. Because I can understand if you end up having 100 people turn up and forget their season tickets, it's a logistical nightmare if that's going to happen. So
I think it's because you're in the money.
Yeah, but it's about
taking much money. You just made yourself a grand for nothing.
But I don't think but in fairness, on this occasion, I'm going to suggest that it's not the motivation's not the money. The motivation's about the prevention. In other words, you're trying to get people to say, "I better not forget my season ticket, otherwise it's going to cost me a tenner." So from that point of view, I get it, but maybe they should publicise it more rather than what happened. Because I saw the tweet saying I've just been charged £10 because I forgot my season ticket, and my first initial reaction was, "Oh, yeah, bandits! That's not very clever." I meant by the club, but then I saw it in terms and conditions, and I kind of get what it's all about. So, yeah, maybe just publicise it more. It's unfortunate, yet again, that maybe this has to be publicised through somebody actually making it public. But you can't cover every eventuality. But I get the gist of what it's all about. So I wouldn't be too hard on the club about it. I think it's.
I would be.
I think. Well, okay,
especially if it's a family of four and having to pay £10 a ticket.
Yep.
£40.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
That's where I would.
But you're going to the hockey. You're going to the hockey. The first thing I do is I check: have I got my season ticket in my purse? That's the first thing I do when I leave the house before I go to the hockey.
But I don't think you're getting 100 people every week doing it. I mean, I'm not. I'm just your average supporter. I've done it once in 8 years. As have I. Yeah, and but so it's not unless there was a major increase in it last year and people were taking advantage of it, which may well be the case. But I still think £10 extortionate, especially, again, as I keep harping on, if it's a family of four, you've already paid for a season ticket and they want another £40 just because you forgot it.
Well, I'm not sure how you would manage it. Maybe the better prevention measure is, well, look, okay, fine, we'll let you off on this occasion, but the next time you forget your season ticket, we're going to have to charge you a tenner.
Yeah, that might be fairer.
But I don't know who keeps a record of that. How easy is that to monitor? No, I don't know.
Probably not, but I just don't see... I don't see the need for it at all, to be honest, but... especially when they're pleading with fans to take season tickets out at the start of the year. As I say, Stephen, I know you're the kind of quiet voice. You've not said anything about it yet. Maybe people have been taking advantage of that and not bothering. You maybe get 5 minutes for the house. You've realised you've not got your ticket. You just go, it's all right. They'll get me one when I get there. I'm not going back. Is that maybe the attitude? I don't know.
I've never forgotten my season ticket. I mean, yesterday on the way in the door, I was hoping that I had, but I always keep it in my wallet. So sadly it was there. I don't know. Maybe people do take the mic. I haven't heard of anyone.
Many times do we say on this programme, though, a little bit of goodwill goes a long way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
If it's the same person doing it over and over again, then you go, right, come on,
Yeah, get your act together.
Wrap it. But if it's a one-off and people forget stuff, it's just what happens. I need a security pass to get into work. I've forgotten it once or twice, it's not as if these things happen. It's no something that's you're always going to remember to take with you, and by the time I get to town, I've not enough time to turn around to come home and get it again. So, yeah, it's a bit of common sense would go a long way, I think. And as Graham said, this is something, I think it was Graham anyway, this is something that's not widely publicised. So even if they did say every now and then, and just remember your season ticket, it's X amount to get it printed out at the box office. I think a tenner's too much anyway. It doesn't take that much money to print out a ticket again, as you said. So
considering when you're going to Ticketmaster to buy a ticket, you've got to print it off at home yourself, and they still charge you for delivery. When you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It works both ways. They can't. I don't know. Just maybe it's not the club. Maybe it's Ticketmaster, although I doubt it. I think it's probably the club.
It could be the arena, in all honesty.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Ticketmaster. It could be the arena, yeah.
It'll be the arena, I would think.
But, jeez, terrible. Anyway.
A tenner is steep, though, I'd say. It's...
Yeah. Okay, moving on for that moan. That was me, I like to moan. Q&A coming up. When is it? Tuesday? Wednesday. Still... I mean, I can't go because of my work, which is probably a good thing. And I don't know. The thoughts for me are basically, yeah, it's great that Neil Black's coming up, and it's great that the fans will have the chance to speak to him. But as I said last week, guys, I don't think we're going to learn anything new. There's not going to be anything groundbreaking. I do again, I get the feeling that Neil lets, and we're told by them themselves, that they are let to basically run things, and he kind of just has an overview of it. Although I think it's more hands-on than that. But I don't think we're going to learn anything. And it's great that he comes up, but and I think some people may go with, as we talked about last week, not want to ask the question they had in their head a couple of weeks ago because they don't want to upset people and they don't want to end up and incur the wrath of the club. And then, is that now one of the issues that the club have generated round about these things? And I'll go to you first for that one, Jennifer. Again, you've been kind of looking at this from the outside and haven't had much of a say in it all.
Well, I mean, the main thing is we need to have people at the Q&A that are actually going to ask the questions that need to be answered, rather than a lot of people just kind of going along to spectate and see what's said. So I'm working as well till 11 o'clock, so it's not a possibility to kind of get there. But yeah, having obviously seen what was kind of forced upon Graham and stuff like that, I just hope that nothing like that happens. And obviously what's happened with Nottingham with this, the guy involved in the Nottingham Supporters Trust as well, who's received a similar ban as kind of what was getting forced upon Graham. I don't quite know the ins and outs of that particular one. It's almost getting dictator-like, where you can't actually get to say what you want to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not knowing a wee bit about the Nottingham thing. I think it's gone down a different line, and it's something we probably don't really want to talk about too much. But I think, yeah, the point remains, are people, Stephen, going to be a bit more reticent to speak their mind for fear of incurring the wrath?
If I was going, I would be. I mean, I know my cards are marked anyway. It's not as if, I'd be... It's not as if I'm wanting to keep quiet about what I think on here, and it does get back to people who want to know these sort of things, what's being said. So, yeah, I can see why people would be unwilling to say what they really think, and I don't blame them. If that's the way the club's got to treat fans for having an opinion that they don't like or doing something that they deem like that was the worst thing someone could do, then I don't blame people for not wanting to say anything about it. I'm hoping that things will be asked in a way that can be answered truthfully, hopefully. That's a big hopefully, by who's attending, but I really don't see it. I think it'll be more a fan service, just fluff that's being spoken about at the thing. I'm not going due to I can't be arsed. I'm not going to lie. I just don't want to go. So maybe it's a bit hypocritical of me to say that the questions that I want to be asked won't be asked, but I've got better things to do. Like sit about doing nothing. Play Mario. That's what it brings me joy. I don't need any added misery needlessly.
Brings me on to Graham. Are you going?
Thanks for asking. Truth is, I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I do have a potential logistical problem, whereas my wife is out and I can't get a babysitter at the moment, but I'm not going to hide behind that.
Just drop a minute me at the shop. I'll sit in the consultation room.
Cheers, Jen. Thank you for that. I knew there was a solution out there somewhere. But that's also part of the reason why I'm not going to hide behind that, from the point of view that I generally don't know. I'm not going over it all again, but I'm still pretty aggrieved about what happened recently, and I believe Mr. Black was part of that decision that was taken against me at the time. And what I don't want to happen, because I wouldn't do it, never in a month of Sundays, but what I wouldn't want to happen is for anything to be misconstrued as he's just been like this because he got a ban. And that would be a shame, because that's not really what that kind of session's about. So I haven't decided yet. I may be inclined not to go, in the hope that, like I said last week, I'm not going to repeat myself all over again, but I just hope the right questions are asked, because Neil Black's here because the fans demanded it, basically, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. That's exactly why he's here, and we should be taking that opportunity. And if the right questions are asked and the answers are not terribly satisfactory, then fine. At least then we have something that we can take a look at and try and analyse and see what he's saying. But for me, a lot of it's very simple stuff. I mean, like I said last week, I've got a dozen questions I want to ask Neil, and they're not all just about the clan, and they're all they're all kind of bigger picture stuff. I mean, part of the reason for him not coming up previously was the fact that he's not that familiar with the day-to-day runnings of the club. Now, we'll have our own views about, to what extent he is au fait with the day-to-day runnings of the club, but make no mistake, he has a massive say on things that really should be getting asked about, things like recruitment, things like budget, things like, where are the Clan in the overall makeup of the league from his point of view? And then, loads of questions on from that about the league and all the other stuff that goes with that. So I've got lots of questions to ask him. I think that there are other people out there who want to ask the similar, if not same questions. So, I'd be quite happy potentially just to stay away for my own reasons, and those questions are asked, and then we just have to see what the answers are. Because again, like I said last week, he's not going to tell you anything you don't want to. He doesn't want you to know, but you can still take a lot from the answers that he gives you. And who knows, we might actually, we were assured by somebody on the inside that it would be an educational evening. Well, let's hope so. Let's hope that for a change that person was right, because he's been wrong often enough.
Was that not the same person that told us we were getting 3 signings about 2 weeks ago?
Aye, exactly. So my point is exactly. So, on the basis that that person might actually be right on this occasion, then yeah, it should be a good evening. Hopefully from the point of view of being informative. As I say, if I don't go, it'll be for my own personal reasons. And as I say, I don't want there to be, I'm not suggesting it's about me because that sounds like I'm just attention grabbing, but I don't want anything related to my band to have anything to do with the Q&A. I certainly wouldn't want to be in the room when somebody asks me a question about it, because that would not be comfortable for me at all. So, yeah, as I say, if I do stay away, then it just comes back to the simple fact I just hope there's enough people there asking the right questions. The fluffy stuff, whatever that may be, is fine. Whoever's comping it can ask those questions, and I'm sure there'll be people there who just want to ask him some very, very simple, basic questions about the Clan. That's fine, but hopefully there's people there who are asking the right questions about things like budget, things like... when we're running so many imports short, where does that money go? Does that get accrued to then help us pay for better players later on in the season, or does that saving just disappear onto the balance sheet? These are the sort of questions that he should be getting asked, and I know Andy would be involved in that as well, and he's obviously going to be there as well as Gareth. But yeah, let's see what the man himself has to say about it. So yeah, there's lots of things to ask, and as I say, I just hope that people are... I'm tempted to go simply because I do have 2 or 3 questions, not controversial, nothing to cause any embarrassment that I want to ask, but perhaps at this particular moment in time it's not the best idea.
See, I know, you're going to get the usual questions. I don't know what that was.
That was a motorbike.
Right.
Gotta hope so.
You just pooped, didn't you, Stephen? That's what it was. And the dog's no there to blame. You're going to get the usual questions about, the Clan budget separate for the... And I probably believe to an extent they are separate budgets, and I believe the clubs are run separately. But one thing I'll never really believe is if when it comes to the crunch, Nottingham, I think, will always come first for all the obvious reasons. And in an ideal world, we shouldn't, and for league credibility, we shouldn't really have an owner who has a vested interest in 2 clubs. Not that I am not grateful to Neil Black, I'm eternally grateful, and I'd probably be very happy if he decided to sell Nottingham instead of selling us. I'm not saying that I'm not happy with Neil Black, but you're going to get that type of question, and the kind of politically correct answer you're going to get to it, which kind of makes some of it just, pointless to me in many ways, and I'm not too disappointed in many ways that I'm not going to make it, because again, I don't think we'll learn anything really new out of it. If there are any difficult questions asked, we'll get the politically correct answer, and the politics game will get played, and that's fine, because you're not expecting them to come out and go, if it came to the crunch, I'd have to back Nottingham first. You can't say that, even if it is true, but hopefully it's a good night, and hopefully people learn things, and hopefully nobody gets into any trouble. Please don't get into any trouble.
Well, that is quite important. I'm casting my mind back to when he was here, which was nearly 6 years ago now, and I can remember him saying towards the end, he was good, and he was very honest, and he came across as being very forthright, and he did say, for me, I'm a Nottingham Panthers fan, and